Eads. Yeah, and it just, we've tried the first couple of years we were here, and we just had the front part area. It's like, moving constantly, it's patchy and weeds, and it just, yeah. So I don't, and I wasn't wanting to do all that because I don't like the house. But I can't move outside of city limits if I'm still gonna be city council. Yeah, okay. With which builder in this area? That's reliable. Or does things square and correctly and.
House isn't square.
Mine isn't
Also
either.
like 70 years
I have
old.
almost four inches between this corner and that corner, different, the foundation, you too? Now, in our house, you can't tell because they.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everyone. Welcome to a regular meeting of the Goldendale City Council. Shelley, would you please take roll call?
Steve Johnston,
Present.
Dale Wheeler.
Here.
Laura Meeker,
Absent.
Ellie Casey,
Here.
Andy Holm,
Here.
Danielle Covenant,
Here,
Mylan Fallon.
Here. Okay, thanks. Is there a motion to excuse Councilmember Lauren Megger?
Did he call in?
He texted that he was out of town.
Oh, okay. I so moved it. I'll second.
Motion in a second. All in favor?
can we comment?
Comment, open up for comment before we take a vote. Sorry about that.
So a while back, I had brought up that, maybe we should revisit how many times that you are not present, even if it is excused a year that's acceptable with our council. And we still have not addressed that. And I really think that that is a necessary thing because we're elected to do the job. And regardless if you don't miss 2 in a row, if you miss a lot of them, it still has an effect, in my opinion.
Steve,
Do you have any idea what kind of parameters you would address?
Yeah, I think that we should talk about how many times would be acceptable for it in order to,
I mean, more specifically, whether you should be here in person or not.
oh, well, that I don't think is necessary, but we can talk about whatever you want to talk about for it, but I think that, in my opinion, the absentee part is the part that is a problem.
Okay,
now currently we have it's an ordinance that we have, do you know, Sandy?
Yes, it's
That
off of an RCW.
it's
I
RCW.
believe it's an RCW that states you can be here, whether Zoom or in person, but you can't have 3 unexcused absences in a row. Correct.
But that's an RCW, not a city
I believe
code.
it's an RCW that we adopted, but we can check with MRSC and find out if there's any rules that can set forth besides that
Besides,
3, because you're an elected official. That's different rules than if you're a hired official.
Sure.
So, but we can check with some rules, and if there's anything else, we can research that and then
Yeah, I
bring
think
that
you
up
can-
on a later date with the council business.
That would be great, because I think that you can add to it, you just can't take away from the,
I
yeah,
believe
that's-
so, but we'll check on that and make sure that we get that.
and maybe I'm the only one that has an issue with it, but,
Well, I thought it's an RCW too, but then also in the Zoom meetings, I think that's accepted as a RCW. That's
Okay.
the meeting, I believe.
it is.
do you have something, Steve?
oh, well, you could find out, but I don't doubt it, to say the least, because it was instituted during COVID and it became.
Yeah, right. It can, yeah,
And
right.
it stayed.
It stayed, I know.
I don't like it, but it specifically says, Sandy, it says the current word.
Unexcused.
Specifically unexcused.
Yes, it has to be 3 unexcused absences, and then I believe.
In a row.
In a row.
Yeah.
And then I believe then I think they can be removed from council, or there's something after that. Once
So-
they're unexcused.
It's pretty much up to the jurisdiction of the council to
Approve or not approve?
approve or not approve based on.
Agreed, but I don't think anyone has ever been gone 3 times in a row, whether it was excused or not. So that's, the point is not, because you can come one time in between those 3 and break the 3 up and then miss 2 again, and then, so you can continue that. And I think it's just a slippery slope, and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think the Zoom thing is okay myself, like for Theo, and I know she has health issues sometimes and she can't be here. Then she's gonna completely miss it, so I think Zoom is a good option.
I think so.
And I know I've used Zoom a couple times when I haven't felt well, and I mean, I just think Zoom's a good thing, but that's just my opinion.
Well, let's get some more clarification from MRSC, Sandy, on what is allowed by the council, and we can get that to y'all, and then you can decide whether you want to take it to a committee or put it on the agenda for council business.
I do, because I think right now unexcusing them is kind of irrelevant, because there's never been 3 in a row, and I doubt there ever will be 3 in a row. But I think there's a bigger issue.
Okay.
So do you want it just on council business, or do you want me to get the information, send it to you and then decide?
If you could get the information prior and send it to all of us, that would be great. That way we can take a look at it and we can be prepared for the next meeting and see how we want. I mean, maybe like I said, maybe I'm the only one that thinks that.
Okay, I can send it to you as soon as I get it all, and then if you want it as an agenda item, then just let us know during the council meeting, and then we'll add it to the following meeting.
What do you guys think? You want it as an agenda item?
I think we have an agenda item, but we gotta check their RCW and make sure that we're.
Right.
Once I get the information, I'll give it to you, and then for the meeting following after the information, when I get it, then I'll send it to you all, and then I'll add it to the next month for a discussion.
And if there's nothing that we can do and we have to follow that and there's no other guidance that we can do, then just send us out a email if you wouldn't,
Yep.
and just say, never mind, we can't change anything. So
Sure.
Okay, yep,
that would be great. Thanks.
absolutely.
Anybody else want to say anything? Okay, we do have a motion and a second on the table. All in favor? Opposed?
Bye.
Okay, we had 2 nays, right?
Which one were the names? Okay,
Okay,
Danielle.
okay. All right,
And
well,
Leon, you were a yes?
Yeah.
okay. All right, thanks, everyone. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda then, closed public comment. Is there anybody here that would like to make a comment? Yes, please. Please step forward and state your name and area of residence.
I agree with part of what's said. If for whatever reason you can't, you run for position, you get it, and if you're not able to attend, you can make up any excuse you want, and the excuse people, hey, I'm sorry, the optics, you're just covering up for each other. If you're not here, you're not here. No matter how good the reason is, you're not effective, you're not doing your job. Shouldn't be 3 in a row, because you can always tweak that. Just if there's so many in a 12-month period, I would think the person would be conscious enough to resign if they're not able to do the job they signed up to do. And it's more of a moral issue and an optical issue than a legal issue. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else like to make a public comment? Anybody on the line have their hand up for a public comment?
No,
Okay, hearing no others, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. And that is approval of the agenda and consent agenda and the amendment to the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda and consent agenda or the amended agenda.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion and a second to approve the amended agenda and the consent agenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thanks. All right, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda then. And that'll be department reports. And we'll start over here with Police Chief Mike Smith.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Not too much to report on. I had last month's stats of, we had 348 calls for service last month. We had 17 arrests. Some of those arrests were We had one traffic related arrest, one weapons offense of a juvenile arrest. We had one stolen vehicle that we recovered and had arrest on it, thanks to the flock cameras. We had 6 domestic violent assault arrests. We had 4, no contact violation orders arrests. Then we had 4 theft arrests. So arrests were kind of a little bit higher this month. Overall, from last year to here, we're about 371 calls above last year's, which is on average, most officers have about 350 to 400 calls per year. So we're about a whole officer's load above what we are. And so we just keep climbing like we've been all year for some reason. So I was hoping things would slow down for the fall season, but apparently it's still just trucking right along. So we're just keeping up and getting stuff done. So I'm still got a position open for Stan's replacement. We got Abigail's replaced, but we're still waiting to find one for Stan's when he retires. And so we're just still looking. So we got a couple hopeful, maybe kicking the door. We got a couple people applied for entry level. And so we're kind of waiting to see if we get enough to actually hold a test. And so we're just waiting to see what happens. And we should be still waiting on the COPS grant. I just got an email back from Lexipol and they advise it should be mid-October to the end of October when we know for sure if that grant's approved. So
So you're down just one now?
we're technically the full staff. We have 9. And so every spot's filled except the one that we're gonna hire to replace Stan. Stan will retire December 31st. So
okay.
a couple months away from him being gone. And so it'd be nice to get somebody trained. So,
Yeah, okay.
If you get somebody in who is new, then we incur the charges, correct, for them to train them?
Academy, yeah, so we pay I think it's close to $20,000 for the academy, all that outfit, and it's about a year before we actually get them back on the road, so. Is it 6 months, but I mean, well, right now it's about 9-month wait to get into the academy and through it, and so it's almost a year and a half, so.
Yeah, Steve.
That grant you mentioned, yeah, where does that originate? Where does the funding come from?
It comes from the Department of Homeland Security, the feds, and so I'm assuming things are delayed right now just because the government shut down.
Right.
And so hopefully that'll, we qualify for it, I applied for it. So we're just kind of waiting this long drawn out process, but that's where they pay that third we talked about before to get number 10, so.
All right. Yeah, I feel more comfortable with federal money at this point. Right. Squeeze anything out of the state.
The state actually rejects that grant because you have to cooperate with Homeland Security, so.
Right. Oh, good. Stick to the feds. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. City Administrator Sandy Wells.
Darling Street project is on hold for a moment. They are waiting for some water parts. So unfortunately, the parts are taking longer than necessary.
Some supply chain issues
Some
still
problems
happening.
for the storm drains and stuff that they have to put into the road. So until they get that, they're kind of on a standstill. But hopefully not too much longer and then their time will start again. And then we also need to set up a budget workshop to go over the budget for next year before it comes for you guys for approval. And talking with Sarah, she is available on Tuesday, the 14th at 6, and I believe the committee was available then, so. Steve, are you available on Tuesday, the 14th at 6?
As of this moment, I think so.
Okay,
At 6 or 6:15,
6:15, because I believe Andy gets off work at 6.
right?
So it'll be, I mean, you can come at 6, but we're gonna start just a little after that.
The 14th?
On the 14th, yep, Tuesday. And Fiona, is that good for you?
Yes, I actually had that in my calendar, but I had it for council workshop. I'll change it to.
It is, it's a budget workshop. It's a full council budget workshop. Ellie, is that good for you? Okay, and Mylan, is that good? Is that a good day for you? Tuesday, the 14th at 6:15?
No, we're talking about the whole council?
Yep.
Yes, the whole
Oh,
council
oh.
comes at the budget
Oh, okay.
workshop.
Yes, I think I'm available.
Okay, Perfect, so I will email all of you tonight the packet that will have what we're gonna discuss, so if there is any, pre-questions that you definitely know you have, then if you send them to me, I can send them to Sarah to have that prepared. So that way it'll be a shorter meeting.
So being as how that's a workshop and we'll have a quorum of council, we'll have to advertise
Yeah,
that.
we'll put that, an ad in the
We do.
paper
Yeah,
and notice on the door.
Yeah.
That we're gonna have a special meeting,
yeah,
so
so,
put it on the website.
yes, Steve.
I'm old school. I like hard copy stuff like
Right.
that.
I can print it in your box, I'm gonna email it to you, but if you want it printed, I can put it
I
in your
would
box.
appreciate it, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome, I'll put a copy in everybody's box and then send them by email.
You might do the same for me too, please.
I will put it for everybody.
Okay, great, thank you.
Great. Okay, great. Anything else, Sandy?
Nope, that's all I got.
Okay, great. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and move on to the next item on the agenda, and that'll be ordinances. And we have ordinance 1548, amending the business license threshold. And Sandy, would you please present that to the council?
Yep, so occasionally Washington State Legislature, they change the requirements for the business license. And so right now, the threshold for licensing is $2,000. So basically, if you make under $2,000, you have, there's some exemptions that you have for a business license. They've raised that threshold to 4,000. And so that's really the only change in the ordinances. It's just changing that number from 2 to 4.
So the Washington State Legislature.
Yep, they
Legislature
made those
changed the
changes.
rules, which in turn made us have to change our ordinance on that.
Correct.
Do the businesses, if they already have a business license, does this affect them?
Only if they make under $4,000 a year. If
Oh,
they
a
make-
year.
A year.
A year, yeah.
Okay,
So if they make over $4,000 a year, then their business license is required. If you have a storefront, it doesn't matter how much you make, you have to have a business license. But if you're basically selling goods and you make under $4,000, then you're exempt from having a business license, and there's some other rules that you're exempt.
okay, thank you.
Well, Mayor, I so move that we adopt ordinance 1545, amended GMC 5.04 business license.
1548.
Yeah, did I say that?
1548,
Yes.
okay.
And then there's an option listed there, option motion addition to waive the second reading. That's completely up to the council if they would like to keep a second reading or waive it.
I move to waive the second reading.
I think the first
Okay.
motion has to.
Okay, yeah, Marlon, you made the motion to adopt ordinance 1548.
Yes.
You have the option to waive the second reading. If you would
Okay,
like.
so I will say, we will, move.
And adopt and waive the second reading?
Yeah, waive the second meeting, yeah.
Okay,
We just have the one.
okay,
We'll do it right here, right now.
okay, and Danielle seconded it. Any discussion on the matter? Nobody, oh, Steve, did you have something?
No.
Okay, okay,
No.
okay. Okay, anybody
I don't
else?
know why they took issuing business license away from us in the first place. But
So the Department of Revenue had sent something out, this was several years ago. We still get our business license fees, but it's just all done through the Department of Revenue. I wasn't involved in that decision
no,
when they did that, so I don't know if it was mandated. It sounded like you didn't have too much of an option, that the Department of Revenue wanted to take it over, but it's also a moneymaker for them. Because not only do the residents here have to pay the $60 fee that we require, then the Department of Revenue also requires a state fee. So it does cost more than just the normal $60 when you get your license. It's a little more complicated because the forms you have to fill out, you have to go online, you have to, and everything's done electronically. It's not just be able to come in and ask a question. We still get the option to approve or disapprove a license. So when you do apply for one, it still comes to us. We still look at, especially if it's a home business, we can still say no if we don't wanna have a license approved because of whatever reasons that we have. So we still have that, but it's all organized and done through the Department of Revenue.
State Department.
Correct.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Let me get it off my chest. I'm still not happy.
I know. Okay, well, any other discussion? We have a motion and a second to approve this without a second reading. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
I,
Opposed? Great, thank you. Motion passes. Okay, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda then, report of officers. And we'll start over here with Steve Johnston.
Oh, I got nothing to report, but I would like to know when we're gonna finalize the comprehensive park plan.
Yes,
We're running out of time.
yeah, it needs to be done by the end of this year. I just had
When you mean?
yeah, I just had a meeting last a week and a half ago or so with the economic development specialist that's been helping with us with that, and from the Park and Rec Board. She promises me that it's the very next thing she's gonna get on. There's one small piece missing. So I'm gonna be, I'll have another meeting with her at the end of this week, and I'll get an update for you soon on that. But my goal is to get that wrapped up before the end of November.
Well, and one of the most important parts and reasons we're doing this is so that we're eligible for certain grants and certain
Exactly,
funding.
yes.
And we're all aware of the time it takes, the legwork it takes to apply for these various grants. I'm just of the persuasion that the sooner it's done, the sooner we can start doing the legwork, preparing for
Yeah.
next year, because next year, January 1st, some of these are hot,
Yeah.
they're available.
One grant that we still have open that I'll fill you in on is we have an RCO grant for planning for Econey Park that you might remember. We've spent some of that money on the archaeological aspect of that grant and that, but we've also, in the process of working on that parks plan. We have that parks plan where we had the public input and, all the things. And so we've taken the concrete elements out of that parks plan to do with Econey Park in particular. And we've taken that to a local engineer to work up to get the engineering done on those things. For instance, the shaded picnic area at Econey Park that was on the plan, the handicap access to the gazebo that was part of that plan. That was one of the big things that came up under handicap accessibility is if someone's having a birthday party or whatever it is out at the gazebo and you're in a wheelchair, you really can't get out there. So we've had an engineer gonna do an engineering blueprint, including price costs to do those things. And there was about 4 different things on that list that an engineer is working on it now. And we'll get that paid through that grant. That way we'll have engineered plans in hand for when all those kind of granting opportunities come up, whether it's granting opportunities from the state government or granting opportunities from private corporations. For instance, when we had the one solar company grant us the money to put that handicap accessible playground down at Econey Park. So that'll be one tangible thing that we'll have in hand soon before the end of this year that our parks plan went to help put together. So that's one part of it that we're already working on, that plan's coming in handy for us already, even though the plan isn't completely finished yet and hasn't been completely ratified yet. We're still already using it. But yeah, we'll get that plan wrapped up here within the next few weeks.
Yeah, because it'd be nice to start on the improvements themselves.
Absolutely, yeah.
For sure. And then I've brought this up a couple of times over the last 4 years, our urban growth boundary. We really should be looking at that again. I don't know when last it was taken into consideration where we sat down and talked about it. I know, well, I don't know, but I think it's one of those issues that has a timeline on it where you should address that periodically. And the area is growing. It's as simple as that. I know it's like pulling teeth to annex, but it's done all the time. And it's a good source of revenue. Why shouldn't the city be getting the revenue from all of these structures within quarter mile, half a mile of town?
I agree, and I had brought it up at one of the meetings and we were told at that time that it's because there still have so many areas that they can build in the south part of town for residential and everything else, so that's why they cannot make the boundary larger. That's what we were told then. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
what I was told also. I'll get some
I don't
clarification.
recall, because it was like 2 years ago when close to 2 years ago when I brought it up, and that's what we were told then.
By who?
Someone in here, I don't remember.
Okay, and that's looking at it as if your boundary is going to be a nice square boundary.
Agreed.
It's not. It's not
Agreed.
now, and it never will be. It can go like this. You can choose an area and include that in your boundary without, if you went out here, let's say to this development out here, doesn't mean you've got to go the same distance on this side of town.
Agreed.
Yeah,
So, again, like I say, it's about revenue. And again, another big argument has been, well, what about services? Well, these developments are close enough. Now, we provide a lot of times law enforcement, fire protection to them already. So, the argument's flimsy.
I could not agree with you more,
For
Steve.
not doing it. And I would have liked to at least have some discussion about the feasibility of it, because it hasn't been done in years and years and years.
I've been thinking about east of town, east of Highway 97.
Mhm.
I think there's a potential there that we should be working on. Should have been working on a number of years ago, but then I think there's a good potential there for us because things may happen on the east side of town someday.
Absolutely. No, it's there.
East and north side.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, should be looked at all around.
Yeah, right, yeah.
There's some areas that are more eligible than others, to say the least. We're all aware of that. So anyway, that's what I would like to do is run it through Public Works to start with. Give us a good map.
It was definitely done prior to our new public works director, so I remember that.
Mhm.
So there may be something that was, something new that we can find out. That would be great.
Well, our Public Works Director has been on the job for a lot of years. He's pretty aware of all of this anyway.
Yeah, I have a map in my office that has the boundary as it sits right now.
But
Yeah.
get the map and get some identifying markers or whatever on it to show the developments that have sprung up.
Yeah,
I believe they have two maps, because we have one of the PD that actually has the city boundary lines and has the urban growth
Yeah.
already pictured out that Larry did probably 10 years ago.
Okay.
That actually, I'm sure Pioneer already has a reference for that.
Interesting.
If you're curious on what they mapped out before should be the different growth areas, but there was something.
Where at?
It's on all of our maps.
I have that
Oh,
map in
okay.
my office.
Okay.
There should be two different lines on that.
Yeah,
It shows where we are present, where the urban growth, and there was a stipulation there. There was a certain percentage of land population had been used. If you have so much open land, you're not eligible for.
that was it. That's what we're
Right,
talking
yep,
about.
yep.
That was the difference with that back in the last 25 years, but with
Well-
also the police services, we do provide backup. We do hold calls, but jurisdictional wise, if that is something to consider with the boundary line getting bigger, that other fire departments would have to expand, police department would have to expand to be able to facilitate actual call to calls on those, the daily calls that the county does hold. We only respond to the major emergencies, so
And then there's the matter of water and sewer, obviously, and roads.
Well,
Yeah,
most of these areas already have roads,
yeah.
and you can grandfather in the water and sewer. That's
Mhm.
what's been done in the past. You annex a place in, they're on wells and septic. They're allowed to continue to use that. You've got to, the city, the municipality has to get the main line at least to the boundary.
Mhm.
And then as those fail, then they have to attach, and that might be 20 years, but that's how you work it out. And yeah, I think we should have some discussion about it, serious discussion to see where we're at and get ourselves updated to see what we can do, what can't do. And that length of time, maybe some of the rules have changed, who knows, some
Yeah.
requirements or parameters.
It's definitely worth looking into.
Well, I mean, I've seen towns, small towns, where their boundary, their city boundary is clear out here. It's a mile out into the desert, out into the brush. You know, and so different rules might apply to different areas, different states for sure.
Mhm.
But that's the kind of stuff we should look at.
Yeah.
And get updated on. Cause again, it's revenue. Why shouldn't we get it?
Yeah, understood.
Anyway.
Good point.
That's it. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks, Steve.
Thanks.
Thanks. Fiona Wheeler, did you have an update?
No, just, I know, the Harvest Festival is coming up, and, trunk or treat, and I hope everybody's ready for that. It's just something to add into the urban growth, boundary. I have a note here that says KPUD planning, Steve and Dave. Were you guys supposed to do something with that?
I didn't hear what you just said. I'm sorry.
Were you and Steve supposed to meet with the KPUD planning department about that, the urban growth boundary? Because I have Steve and Dave.
Clickitat County Public Utility, she said CKPUD. I wonder if it's the Public Works.
Yeah, no, planning, the PUD. Clickitat County.
The PUD?
I
I don't think they would have anything to do with that.
No.
Something must have got brought up in that last discussion. I just saw that there, and I wasn't sure if maybe the PUD had anything to do with that.
I don't think the county would.
Oh, yeah, we'll be
They would.
discussing with the county.
Yeah.
The Clickitat County Public Works would, maybe,
The planning department.
right,
would.
and the planning department would.
We have a meeting with the Clickitat County Planning Department on Thursday. We'll bring up that topic, if we get a chance at that meeting and see if we can get some clarification there. Yeah. I know the planning director at the county pretty well. You might too.
I think they do.
Yeah.
A lot
Okay.
coming up.
Anything else, Fiona?
Hope everybody stays safe out there and stays warm and dry.
Thank you. Thanks, Fiona. Ellie, Casey,
I've got nothing there.
thank you. Andy Holm.
I was just gonna bring up the Harvest Festival coming up on the 18th,
Oh,
but
great.
you did, so there we go.
Danielle.
I'd just like to say that the Chamber of Commerce has really been doing some fantastic things lately,
Yes.
and it's very notable, and they're really trying to help the businesses out. So I think that we need to encourage also the businesses and just the people to take some of the courses and classes that they're offering. They social media, you name it, they're having it out there, and it's bringing people into town. And I think we should all kind of learn what we can learn from it and see what we can do for our part with it.
Yeah, they're doing a
But
wonderful
they
job.
really are. Yep.
Mylan Mullins.
Well, thank you, Mayor. Last week I received an invitation from the Secretary of State, Steve Hobbs, to attend a reception. And because of that, because I'm on the Counselor Association, and he sent an invitation to all the Counselor Association members to attend the reception at his office. Now, each country has a counselor in Seattle. And I was, a number of years ago, I was asked to be a member of that association. So I don't attend all their meetings, but I thought, well, I'll try to attend this one, which I did. And, it was a very good meeting, and I didn't realize that he was down visiting you here a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
He didn't tell me about that, but anyway, it's, and I know his staff person, scheduler, Stephanie, who I've known for quite some time. And I said, well, sometime we'd like to have the, secretary come down and see the observatory. And she said, yes, we'll plan that out next spring sometimes. Okay. And then she said, well, also then, we'll have some of the, counselor members to come down too. Now, I've had, several times now, I've had some of the council members come down, and we had luncheon at the Mary Hill Museum. And see, their job is to promote business. And I know the counselor from Germany said, well, Marlon, you got Goldendale on the map now. And I said, well, yes, I have, And so anyway, and Lieutenant Governor was there, and I chatted with him for a while, and what you met when we were up there at the AWC conference in Olympia. And so that's what we want to do is we want him to be the observatory. And then and there's other things that some of the council members mentioned to me, potential business, but I'll talk to Richard Foster about that. That's more county business, but for the city, it's an opportunity for the secretary to come and see our observatory, and we'll just see what else happens. But then it's going to be next spring or so before that happens, and who knows but if it really happened or not. But anyway, I was pleased that he the scheduler made that comment that we'll work on getting down there. So it's yeah. So anyway, then I just received today some nice compliments from a couple of the counselors and chatting with me, and look forward to chatting some more. And so I chatted back. And then I also have a new name tag too that they gave me. All the members excuse me, have a name tag. And so anyway, it was a very good meeting.
Great.
That's what I have, Mayor.
Oh, thanks, Mylan. And for mayor's report, just want to let everybody know on October 13th at 10:30 a.m. There's going to be a ribbon cutting ceremony down at the Econi Park at the Little League fields. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a fantastic new mural that got painted on that storage unit down there, and it looks great. And that's all thanks to
Scott Gray.
Scott Gray did that mural, and the Chamber of Commerce and the
Art at the Heart
and the Creative District, they all worked together to make that happen and get the funding together, and it just looks wonderful. So October 13th, if you're available, they're gonna have a ribbon cutting. And there was one other thing. Oh, at the next council meeting, there'll be a group from FFA will be here to do a presentation about their trip to nationals that they'll be doing. And they'll be doing a fundraiser at the football game on October 24th, a fundraiser for the local soup kitchen. And they've got me to agree to kiss a pig during the halftime of that football game. So, anything for fundraisers for the FFA, I agreed to that. So that should be fun. Our local FFA group and the FFA leaders just do such a great job with those kids. So I think it's always great, usually once a year or so they come in and give us a presentation. They kind of practice on us the presentations that they do at nationals. So we'll be looking forward to that at our next council meeting. And that's all I had. We'll move on to the next item on the agenda, and that's public comment. Any topic. Anybody like to make a public comment? Does anybody on the line have their hand up? Nobody on the line? Nobody in person? Larry already had his say? Okay.
Like another topics.
Would you like another topic? Okay, hearing none, I'll close public comment. And we'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on adjournment? If not, call for the vote. All in favor? Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
You get the big kiss?
Well,
Well, I was hoping he'd clarify that.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.